thank you for joining me. This is Cooking with Cod3Theory, episode 5. Tonight we are going to be doing turkey wings. You want to come over here, so I went ahead and I got some turkey wings. A lot of people don't know you can buy raw turkey wings and legs at the store like this. You can also buy them smoked. If you notice the price, this is almost 2 pounds of turkey wings for about $5.50. So again, a lot of people don't know that, and I think even if some people did know that you could buy turkey legs and turkey wings, a lot of people don't really know how to season them too well. For you guys at home, it's basically the same way that you would season chicken. I'm actually going to stop and wash my hands. And if you don't really trust yourself enough to cook turkey legs or wings, they do sell them at the store pre-smoked, which is awesome. You buy them, all you do is cook them in the oven for about an hour, hour and a half, and they actually taste really good as well. My preference though is to do raw turkey legs or wings. I do those occasionally. It's definitely in like my top 10 favorite meals. Traditional turkey dinner, you know, turkey, stuffing, green beans, that sort of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to preheat my oven to about 350. So start doing that. I've already lined my pan with some tin foil, so I'm going to spray that down really, really good. And then I've already chopped down some parsley here. The seasonings I'm going to be using are lemon pepper, some parsley, of course, some oregano. If you have fresh oregano, all the better. I like fresh herbs better to taste a little more well, I guess. A little bit of steak seasoning, and of course I have some already ground up parsley here. And that's what we're going to be using. So we're going to open these turkey wings up. And I'm going to do kind of like a dry and wet mixture. So I've got butter out, I've got things I can use like oil. Basically, I'm going to kind of keep this. Basically, I'm going to cook these the same way I'd cook like a whole chicken or turkey, where I have some of it in like a butter mixture with the seasoning as well. And that's to ensure that the meat is nice, tender, and juicy all throughout the cooking process. If you overcook chicken and turkey, you'll find out the meat is a lot more dry. But if you do like a dry, wet rub mix, you'll find that the meat's nice and tender all throughout. Let's put this on this cutting board. So this is just one wing right now. And then let's just start doing it up. I'm going to do a nice little dry rub. So lemon pepper, some steak seasoning, some oregano. You could add certain things depending on your personal preference. This is more of like a traditional chicken or turkey dry rub is what I'm using. If you wanted, you could add things. Sometimes I do like some paprika would be good. I'm gonna pour some oil just on top of this. Just gonna go over this, kind of drizzle over it, and that's just to kind of help the seasoning kind of settle in there. See if I rub this in nice and spreads nice and around. And again, if you wanted to make it just a little bit of heat, a little more flavor, you could definitely add some paprika, just a little bit of cayenne. Anything else, you might need some red chili flakes if you wanted even. Again, if you wanted to make it spicy, I kind of like my turkey and chicken a little more, not spicy, but kind of more flavorful than spicy. But I definitely do like a good Jamaican jerk, which would go pretty well on these too if you wanted to. Just make sure you're using a good Jamaican jerk, not the stuff you pretty much have to make it from scratch. So again, I'm just making sure I get all up in here. And you just want a nice spread. Spread these seasonings out, nice and consistent all throughout the wings. I'm going to rinse my hands real quick just so I can open up this other seasoning. We are currently listening to my SoundCloud station, so if you wanted to check that out, it is soundcloud.com/Cod3Theory. That's COD3THEORY. You can check out my radio station. That is what we're listening to right now. I update it about every week with new songs from artists like Porter Robinson and Grizz and Zed's Dead. So this is a pretty good dry rub. So I'm going to go ahead and set this very carefully on my oven in my pan. And then I'm going to grab this other one here. So you can tell these are huge. These are probably like 2 meals. Probably only be able to eat like half of one between us. So it's definitely a great cheap option to get from the store. That's also really, really good. I'm going to do a little more oil. And just a nice kind of like a drizzle. That's probably good. And again, this is steak seasoning. If you wanted to use chicken seasoning, you could as well, just because it's steak seasoning. Does not mean you can't use it for other things. I use it for French fries. I put it on potatoes, stuff like that. Oregano, some lemon pepper, and one thing I'm not using salt for this, and it's because there's plenty of salt in this steak seasoning already, and the pepper, there's a decent bit of pepper in the lemon pepper seasoning, so I don't want to make this too salty. Which is kind of why I'm not a big fan of the smoked, because if you buy the store-bought smoked turkey legs or wings, they are a little salty, just in my opinion anyway. They are really easy to make. And again, I'm making sure I get like in between here. Okay. And just, again, a real consistent, I'm just getting this all rubbed in, try to cover as much of the wing that I possibly can. That way you get a nice, consistent, flavorful taste all throughout the eating process. So this is pretty good. So we're going to come over and set this on here. So there we go. So that's pretty much ready. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some oil and some butter. So I'm going to put some oil, a little bit of butter, and just kind of like get this a little wet on the bottom here. And it's just going to help it from drying out. And some butter. We'll probably actually use the rest of this, honestly. Okay, so that butter, a little stick of butter I put in there, that's gonna melt. What else I'm gonna do is I'm just kind of put all this just surrounding it on the pan, because when it cooks, it's gonna cook in that butter, and that's gonna blend in with the butter, and it's gonna add some nice flavor to it. So by now, these are pretty much, my oven's preheated, these are pretty much ready. I'm just going over them, I'm just might do a little touch-up work if I see some spots that aren't consistent, but that's pretty much it. This is pretty much ready to go. You'll also notice how I have, if you want to come in a little closer, how I have this butter stick kind of in the middle of these two. That way it's going to melt, it's going to spread in between both of them. I think that'll work out really well. Now these are going to take about an hour, maybe 2 hours to cook, so we'll come back and we'll see you back in a little while. Alright, so we got our turkey. I'm about to pull this out of the oven here, show you guys. And what I did, so these are cooked for about an hour and 15 minutes total time. And what I did about halfway through, about 40 minutes in, is I flipped these, let them cook for another 30 minutes, and then I flipped them back. So at one point they were on the other side, and then I flipped them back to get the top to crisp up, as you can see. Also made a little bit of some stuffing here, just a little bit of somewhat traditional Thanksgiving dinner. No reason why you couldn't do this any other time of the year, especially considering the prices on turkey. I'm just going to cut into this, make sure it's done. If you have a meat thermometer, definitely use that. This for your turkey, just like chicken. Your temperature should be 165. Let me see. I'm going to flip this the other way. So, I don't know. Try to get this open up a little more so you can see in there. See, that's really done, pretty white. That's the look you're going for. A little pink's okay, a lot of pink, you obviously want to cook it longer, but definitely good indication. So that is our meal. Of course, you can watch this video, cook this meal anytime you want. Thank you for joining me. Check me out on SoundCloud, Instagram, Facebook, all under Cod3Theory. That's Cod3Theory.